Grab your detailed medical histories, Wargamers. We're sharing those now. Seems a little bit odd. It's one of those things that everybody is doing. And when it comes to everybody, I'm definitely one of them. So, now some of you guys are going out, you're getting a big prick from Mr. Johnson and Mr. Johnson, maybe Pfizer, or maybe you're getting a chemical concoction from a trusted multinational mega corporation who's above the law like OCP or Wayland-Yutani. As for me, I went down to Chinatown and for the low price of $300, secret knock and a door in a basement in the back alley, I was able to get the Ligma-Nunya vaccine. And as you can see, I've already had my Ligma-Nunya booster. And aside from the bleeding hair, not the scalp, my hair is bleeding, and the night sweats and the day sweats and the teeth sweats. When your teeth sweat, that's a very good sign. It means that your bodily humors are fully balanced. And pretty soon, I'm going to be able to get out of the house and stop solo wargaming and go out among the people that demanded that I get something like this, which I'm really looking forward to. All right, listen, you guys aren't here for those kind of bits and those kind of gags. You're here for the miniatures. And we don't often do a whole lot of behind-the-scenes stuff here. I'm no guru. I'm just a guy making his way in the world best I can, same as you. But I thought it might be fun to take a look at some of the projects that we're working on, what's coming up on the channel, and just show off some miniatures. Now we're gonna go down into the basement. It's a little bit dark down there, and sometimes the woman that I keep at the bottom of the well, sometimes she gets a little frisky and needs the hose. But we can get through that. You're gonna want to watch this video in 180 pixel. High def, glorious sense surround, because we're looking at 15 millimeter figures. Kind of hard to see the details at the best of times, but hey, you know that. Okay. I got a couple of things that are worth calling out. One thing is, I've complained in the past about these Reaper Bones vermin. Look at these guys. I don't like the rubbery feel of them. They've got no weight. They've got no heft. They're very bendy. And then if you leave them too long and they get heated up, they tend to stick. And then when you pull them apart, you get this kind of artifact. See the paint coming off? So not a huge fan. We need to upgrade our vermin, and that's what these guys are. These are from Alternative Armies, one of my favorite manufacturers. I got a bunch of, they don't pay me to say this, they got a bunch of, here's some better scorpions. And then to give you an idea how big these guys are, we'll just grab a random civilian here. Actually, it's not random. I lied. This is one of the civilians that's going to show up on the Black Ops game. And one of the few guys actually doing Black Ops games on YouTube is Dino over at the Solo Wargame Show. So that's Dino right there. He's got the Dino hat. He's got the Solo Wargame Show logo on his t-shirt. And sorry about the belly. This is the closest I could find. It's, what can I say? So, I thought that was kind of nice. I wanted to put a logo on their shirts, but I didn't want to do something like, oh, another Marvel. Oh, here's another movie reference. Whatever. I like referencing the guys that truly inspire me, and it ain't Hollywood that's doing that. It's you guys. So, as you can see, this Scorpion is a lot smaller, but on the table, he's gonna jump right out, and they still are. I mean, barely monstrous. If you saw a spider like this, you'd need to change your pants, I'm sure. We got some large spiders. Now, these are metal. These guys are a resin, and as you can see, I haven't gotten around to painting them, unless, I don't know, maybe they're ghost spiders. We'll slap some additional paint on that. All of these boys through here are civilians, non-combatants that are ready to take the table in the Black Ops game. And I have another. This is the exact same figure, but this time I gave it the Alternative Armies. And I should point out, these guys are all from Rebel miniatures. So I put an Alternative Armies logo on a Rebels mini. What can I tell you? Alternative Armies doesn't have any modern civilians, or I might use an Alternative Armies. One thing to point out, all of these guys from Rebel are, undersized, oversized, perfect size, whatever. They're a little bit smaller. This is an Alternative Armies figure, I believe, and as you can see, this is the difference between 15 millimeter, a true 15, and I think this guy's 18 millimeter. Well, you know what? This guy is standing on a little bit of a hill. If we match their feet, they actually aren't that big a difference size-wise. Now, to be fair, he's crouching down, but I don't know. I don't think it's that big a deal. And when you put them on the table, yeah, they may be a little chunkier. Nothing really to lose a whole lot of sleep over. I thought there was one more guy down here to show. No, I mean, the rest of these are just, ladies and guys in suits. This guy with the glasses is pretty nice. I'm kind of proud of being able to paint a set of glasses in 15 millimeters. Nice red tie. And then I repurposed one of these guys. You get like 3 of each sculpt in the civilian pack. And I thought, you know what? With that briefcase and that tie, he looks like he could blend right in with my Men in Black. So there's the same figure painted in a black suit, and then he's going to go side by side with this Men in Black. So we got 6 of those for all of your paranormal investigating or, just your general federal agents. Speaking of federal agents, I've got 8 federal agents here. And so these guys are going to go on Team Black Hat in the Black Ops, and there's just a gal with a pistol. And I wanted them to be able to represent a host of different agencies, right? They could be DEA, they could be ATF, they could be FBI. So I just put 3 little dots, dot, dot, dot. It's your alphabet soup. There's a feller with an assault rifle, and here's another federal agent. This is the old guy, and he's got a pistol there, looking for the family dog. Because when I play Black Ops, I'll probably have that for the federal officers. If there's any dogs nearby, then they will be completely distracted to, go after the dogs first, as they do. So then we turn our attention to one other, and again, these are all Rebel figures, all of these moderns, including Dino over here. Right? God bless. I'm a fan of his show. What can I tell you? Rebel also sells this little fake news number, and I went ahead and put them on a 1-inch base just because they're always going to be together. So they will be, they could be a nice objective or just a couple more civilians or what have you. And then they also have this guy here, the old Hamburglar. I probably should have painted a $sign on there for that Scrooge McDuck flavor, but I didn't. What are you going to do? So that's kind of a nice little figure too. And then we'll wrap up just the painted figures for these guys with 4, and as I said, I think these are Alternative Armies figures. I just went ahead and bought 4 Gladiators. I thought they'd be a good change of pace for the Heroic 15s for the Fantasy. And, I'm looking at this. Now, I know we're doing the Stunty campaign in Night Watch. Guy with a spear, 2 weapons, sword and shield. This might be a good squad for Night Watch for the next batch. Maybe go with a whole Greek theme with nothing but Greek monsters. That's the beauty of Night Watch. You can reskin it however you want to. Also, I have not been remiss in the terrain category. I went ahead and tried the teddy bear fabric, a little bit of long grass, something that our red hats and black hats can sneak through. I don't know if it worked out very well. Oh yeah, see, figures stand up really great. I'm having an issue with shedding. Cutting this stuff was a lot harder than I expected. I think I need to go back and watch like 50 more how-to videos, because I just put a little streaks of paint in there to kind of gussy it up, and if we throw those down here in the light, come into the light. All are welcome. All are welcome. Here's a comparison of the size downgrade from one to the other. Yeah, this might be a smaller Scorpion, but it's metal and it feels like a miniature, and it doesn't do this. So those are going to be put in the file 13, or the circular file as they call it. Anyway, the grass mats here, I don't know, are they going to work? I guess they'll look okay on camera. Cutting it, I don't know how you get the right kind of edging. It's kind of like okay, carpeting, dance floor. I don't know. And again, there's some more shedding, so I don't know how long this is gonna last. But hey, I got like a half a yard by like 4 feet of it. Maybe it was like 6. Anyway, $3. Paint I already had, so it's practically free. One more little thing to sneak through as you're going through your Black Ops, and then just a couple more. So this is all I put together for now. because remember, I have very limited storage space, and I guess I'll go ahead and put these in the generic bin, which I was not thrilled with the look of my hills. Here's one of my football-sized hills. It's just a little bit of plaster on a football-shaped wooden dowel. Very solid, very rugged, very easy. However, if we throw down our warrior, if we do a little size comparison, it's barely a hill. I mean, you call that a hill? That's not a hill. Let me show you what a hill really looks like. Or at least a hill that is in progress. Now, once we carve this up, coat it in sand, coat it in static grass. Now that is a hill. That's a proper line of sight blocking hill right there. So I got a couple of those. That's on the to-do list. So that's going to get file 13. Or maybe we go ahead and throw that in the 6 mil box. I don't think I have room for any more hills in my 2 millimeter. And if I do, I'll just make some more. That's part of the fun. Here is my terrain box. Back that way a little bit. So this is the amount of space I'm limited to. And here, take a look. So I actually measured. Those guys will both fit in there. Particularly more so once I get them. How do I do this? This light ring. It's great, isn't it? Anyway, you get the idea. I'll put 2 more. I still have a little bit more terrain that can fit in there. And then nice and portable. Everybody loves the really useful box. I also picked up several more of these. These are the standard Plano 4-rack boxes with room on top. I have 4 of these now. One for fantasy, one for science fiction, one for modern day, which is really light. I may wind up getting some modern day, American military and maybe some jihadis, but that's for kind of long-term plans. Comes with a nice big space up top. And this one, as you can see, I've put an extra box up top for the cavalry. This 4th box is my black powder, 15 millimeter black powder. At least for now, it's going to be skirmish. So let's take a look at what we got in there in our racks. As I said, you get 4 of these little racks. And the thing with this system is that the 4 that you get are actually a little bit undersized. Let me show you some Eureka figures here. We'll do just like a little quick comparison. So I have now added, in addition to my swashbucklers, my 3 Musketeers figures and Cardinal's Guard, I went ahead and got a cannon, just a generic cannon, and I just based it in something simple, a little horseshoe shape. And then I picked up a bunch of red coats. And I have a lot of pirates that we'll be getting to, and the pirates are going to go in here as well. These are Eureka, tricorn, hatted, British-looking fellas. So not too bad. Easy to paint, pretty good carving. Nice figures. I like them. Would definitely paint again. But, wouldn't be horse, foot, and guns without horses. And unfortunately, you should be able to see the size difference here in these racks. This is all the cavalry I have room for. Fortunately, it is tall enough. I still need to do, all right, so they're not quite done. But these nice, lovely fellas come with, I need to get some flags on this. And of course, looking at these up close is a bit of a, so you can see I was painting earlier tonight. It's a little bit, deceptive. Up close, maybe not all that great. But once you get them down on the table at about arm's length, they look smashing. Bright colors bump up the contrast a little bit because they're so small. And you've got room in this guy, in this little rack, for a total of 14, which is good because I'm going to pick, because I also have 7 French to paint up. But what's nice is, with these 7 mounted fellas and all of these Brits, I can actually play the scenario for Napoleonic that is included in 1 hour skirmish. the book that we've played before, and this time I may even be able to do it right because my wonderful commenters pointed out that the movement in that costs 1 point to move once. The second move costs 3 points. So if I do it right, my guys shouldn't be flying across the table. Now, as I said, this will be my French box at Plano, right? So I'll put all my French once I get them painted in here. But if I reverse the roles and make these the British and these the French, I should be able to show you exactly how that game plays out. And then just to kind of close the loop on that, I do have some civilians here. These are our Von Dan farmers. Thanks for the glare, light ring. And then we've got, of course, our pigs and our... Oh, there's the dogs that we can throw into the modern mix if we want. Anybody else there we need to see? I do have a couple of carts and wagons and stuff. And then, of course, since this is my black powder, we've got our 3 Musketeers in all of its glory. I have a couple of those guys I need to paint. I don't know if I'm going to get around to it. It's basically a mounted version of a lot of these guys. These are Blue Moon figures. Fun figures, a little on the basic side, but they paint up great. And for something kind of cinematic like your 3 Musketeers, what else could you ask for? So, 4 Plano boxes, 4 settings, 4 scenarios. I think that's just about enough for one guy to handle. And except, also we're doing another scale because we are going to be adding to the 2mm. But that's a subject for another day. I think that's, right. So this I wanted to show you because I wanted to show me. I got a nice, lovely box from our good friends at gcminis.com. And we'll take a look at what's inside. Don't usually do the unboxing videos. A lot of these things are kind of pointless, but it is going to be a while before we get to that Black Ops campaign that I had promised you guys, and it's always a surprise to see GC Minis. Great customer service. Love working with these guys. Look at, who doesn't like a little bit of candy? Base card, I don't know, they may have some sales stuff in here, but 10% off your next one, gcmini.com. Last time, they gave me Gamergrass Tuft Range. They got weird alien tufts too, huh? Oh, that's great. At one time or another, they sent me, they went ahead and included a sticker, and I was like, oh man, that'll go great on my Wargame diary. For those of you that are relatively new to the channel, just as a brief aside, this is my Wargaming journal. This is where I keep all of my, spoilers. I don't remember where we're at on the solo Wargame campaign, but I've got all of my notes for which guys are going where. General Semperatus. Yeah, we've been watching his career down there in the south. And then, of course, we've got, this is the Black Ops campaign. This is our Black Raven, which we're going to get to. That's this package right here. We're going to finish off with that guy. Some of you probably already know what it is. Don't ruin it for your neighbors. See, Agent Spliff, we remember him. And then, of course, what is this? The Great Corletto. Song of Blades and Heroes, if we ever go back down into Castle Meat Grinder. Here's our Stunty campaign for Night Watch and 1 Hour Skirmish. Forgive me, I can't remember who sent me this cheat sheet. Quick reference sheet. Helps tremendously. He actually made it for dice-filled 1 Hour Skirmish. But hey, dads can't... It's for Dad. That's for me, and I love a good root beer. So good stuff. And then, yeah. So anyway, this is going to be our terrain for modern. And I'm a little nervous, to be perfectly honest with you, because as you can see, I've got a lovely little diner here. I have never done MDF terrain. I don't know how this is going to work. I don't know if I'm going to be able to pull this off. We'll do it together. You guys can give me some tips. I've been watching some of the videos and kind of think I'm getting the idea, kind of getting the hang of it. But in addition to the diner, this lovely gig has, which one are we looking at here? Oh, this is the 7-Eleven. So that actually comes with a base plate too. So that'll come in handy. So we have a diner, we have a 7-Eleven. We have a billboard, so we'll come up with a fun little ad to put on that. And then this handsome lad here, I'm not taking it out yet because I'm not ready to put it together. See the arches? This is not the golden arches. This is going to be my Taco Bell. I figure if I'm doing like big top America, like pre-post-apocalyptic America, and I need to have 3 businesses, I'm going to have a fast food joint, and a convenience mart. What could be more American than that? And then just a little bit more. I want to sprung. I figured since I'm paying for shipping anyway, we'll get 1 more container. We'll grab a couple of park benches that we can put on there, and 1 more ice machine to stick outside the little shop at Convenience Mart. There's 1 more building we can do. And, oh, look, it's a food place. Go figure. HO scale, Ace Supermarket. I think this will work for 15 millimeter figures. Might be a little big, might be a little small. As long as it's consistent with these buildings, I think it's going to look fantastic. So, got a lot to build. And the other issue here is I'm not sure if this is going to fit into my modern terrain box. So here's the terrain box as it stands right now. You can see I got 3 really useful boxes already tucked in there. Those contain mostly containers and Matchbox cars, as you can see. Showed you how I auto-detailed these a little while ago, and I think maybe we might go ahead and slide those over into the top of our rack system. That'll buy us a little more space, because if we look at this, we're going to come down along the edge here. You know, the diner's a good size. I think we can make that work. And I hope, does the diner, yeah, and then that does come with a base plate. So that'll definitely fit. This guy, I checked before I bought. See that? He will fit in 1 level. This is the 7-Eleven. It has a gas pump out front as well. Little island for pumping gas. So I know that will fit. I know this will fit. And I know my Taco Bell will fit. I'm just not sure about that grocery store. There's only one way to find out, and that's to do it. And if it doesn't, we'll figure something out. So 1 more thing I want to show you, and then we're done with our promises and kind of preview of what to expect this coming summer. During the last one for the night, forgive the crinkling, take a look at this handsome lad. That is a Coruscant piece. This is the Black Raven. They are headed for the planet Chalt, and they need some digs. Superfan and friend of the channel, Dan, mumble his last name because we don't want to dox anybody, sent this to me. He's not going to have time to get around to it, and it's a little intimidating, I'm not going to lie. I have never painted anything this big before, and I'm not entirely sure how it goes together. Maybe something like, oh, well, that helps. Okay. Something like that goes on there, and then this goes in. There's I don't know. I don't know. The other thing I don't know is, do I need to paint these separately? Oh, look, I'm figuring it out. I have a big brain. I have the best brain. There you go. And then I suppose if we're going to show that to give you a better idea of the scale of this monster, look at that. There's a 15 millimeter. This is one of our Rebel Minis Men in Black. It's a beast, I'm telling you, but it feels so good having a Black Raven. The intimidating part is, how do you paint something like this? The last time I painted a miniature this big was when I was still building model cars and model jets, and was still painting with Testors oil-based gross-smelling paints, and it looked awful. I need to figure out how to mask this. I need to figure out how to spray paint this with something a little higher quality than my standard Walmart purchased Rust-Oleum primer. I got to figure out. And then he also sent, just for giggles, he sent a crew along with it. Now I have these figures already, but There ain't nothing that's stopping me from changing them, doing a little bit of kit bashing, winding up with a whole new crew for these guys, or even just painting them in a separate color, which brings us back around to what we saw at the start of the video, where, you know, even just a couple of civilians in t-shirts can look like a whole different guy. They can look like regular people, or they can look like federal agents. So a lot of great stuff coming. We're going to get back to the Black Raven. We're going to do some sci-fi bigger battles. I got some fun little rule sets to kind of kick around a little bit. And of course, we're going to be doing all the usuals: Black Raven, Night Watch, one-off, 1 hour skirmishes. And then I also have a purchase of figures that are coming in, some fantasy 2mm figures. And you know, if you're watching warinabox.blogspot.com, you're going to see some previews and some ideas for how we're going to use 2mm to do some really old school interesting stuff. We're going to be doing a lot of invoking rule 0, building our own table, doing our own thing, but we're going to be doing our own thing with an eye towards looking back at the work of the masters and seeing if we can recreate the lightning in a bottle that those guys, you know, luminaries such as Tony Bath and the crew at Wargames Research Group. You know, if we can recreate that kind of turn the page back a little bit, and instead of all of these sexy, slim, streamlined rules that are perfect, let's do the hard work of going back and doing a little bit of forensic wargaming and trying to play some of these older, you know, they have a reputation for being clunky games, but they were fun enough that people still play them to this day. And they were fun enough that people took them and ran off and essentially started this whole new hobby. Yeah, okay, if you want to quibble, you go back to H.G. Wells' 4 games, blah, 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 blah. You know what I mean. If those games that were written in the 70s were tedious and awful, the hobby would have died on the vine. They were not. They were a lot of fun. They just took some effort. And here, doing our elite level wargaming, we're going to put some of that effort in, but we're not going to do it with unpainted figures. I can tell you that right now. So, might be a little ways off for that, but look for that. I think between fantasy, sci-fi, black powder, flashing blades, modern day, and I don't know. I feel like I'm forgetting something. Multiple campaigns, whatever. Lots of good stuff coming. Stay tuned, and we'll see you next time. Till then, I'm praying for you.